members here this afternoon. The IT department, maintenance, custodial, transportation, counseling, special education, food service, and of course our students and families have been really patient and flexible with us as we've gone through this. And then this is the list that, the next part, our partners. This is the one where we really looked hard to try not to forget anybody that was here with us. But of course our Madison Oneida BOCES and Regional Info Center, King & King Architects, Ferrara Fiorenza Attorneys, CNS Companies, CMY Construction, Oneida Electric, Syracuse Time and Alarm, Day Automation, Johnson Controls, Elevate It, ServPro, HJ Brandelis, Spectrum, National Grid, Northland Communications, we have Spectrum here twice, Appel Osborne, and ME Engineering. And sometimes if you'd come over the last couple of months, you might see all of those people here at once. So there was times where the parking lot looked full and we had lots of people working from top to bottom in all areas of the building. And then we have additional community partners. We have the City of Oneida Parks and Recs, which opened their facilities to us, and we really greatly appreciate that. Senator Griffo's office, Assemblyman Miller's office, Congressman Mannion's office, the City of Oneida Mayor's office, Mayor Rossi, and Manager Lovell. The OPD, the OFD, Madison County Sheriff's Department, Department of Emergency Management Services were there from the very beginning with us. And then there's other groups and community organizations like the Madison County DSS and Working Solutions that offered us kind of spaces to move out into. Part of this also is the Oneida Public Library. So we've had lots of people there to help us along the way. And it's very important to recognize them, so we wanted to have their names celebrated as being a part of this. And then our announcement. So students and staff will be returning on Monday, January 26th. So it's a couple of weeks away. All electrical, mechanical, support, and security services are back online. And we did have an independent environmental testing completed this week that we have preliminary results on, and we're waiting for the final results. But those are all, although there's only 3 bullets there, those are all huge announcements, and we're incredibly excited to be doing this, because as you recall, over the summer, we were talking about as long as a year we might be out. But we've been, not only our staff, but all of our partners working really hard, and luckily the supply chain came through for us. We were able to get some of our materials and equipment on hand sooner than we thought that we were going to. And then people just jumping in with 2 feet and ready to go and help and assist. So I want to say that was our announcement. I have a couple of other quick announcements to go through before we do questions. So kind of our next steps. Final cleaning and room setup, that's going on behind the doors. There's our whole custodial maintenance staff is out there early and late, and we are waxing and cleaning and polishing and putting rooms back together. Middle and high school staff, admin, and our counseling teams are working on writing new schedules, because the entire middle school and high school schedule will have to be rewritten, which is no small undertaking. Normally that happens over the course of a summer, and now we're going to try to get that done, not try, but we're going to get that done in just a couple of weeks here. Transportation, new routes are being finalized. The transportation department will notify families in the coming days and weeks. Routes for all students across the district will be affected, because of course we're going from 2 roughly half-day schedules to 2 full-day schedules, and also we need to not impact the elementary schools as little as possible with that. With that said, all buildings it's the intent that they'll all go to their previous schedules. So the elementary schools this year did adjust their schedules a little bit so that we could make sure that busing for the other schools was set to go. But we're going to go back to the times that you see here for the coming year. And as we talked about with student schedules, transportation schedules, and routing all need to be rewritten as well. And again, that's a quick turnaround, and we're doing that. We have high school administration in the back. They're here to help us along today, and a lot of this is now going to be put into their hands. So they are planning an open house where normally we'd have an open house for freshmen. It's going to be for everyone, and they're going to invite parents in, and that's a couple of weeks out. So, right, Mr. Gallagher? Thursday. Not this coming Thursday, but 2 weeks out on Thursday. So we're looking forward to that and getting people in so that both kids and families can take a look at the kind of final product of where we are and welcome people back. And then we're going to get to questions, and these are just a bunch of thank yous. Top to bottom, as I already said, everyone jumped in. There's not a member of the community or the greater school community that didn't see us at the grocery store or at the gas station and offer to help. We had people offering to help. Do you need people to monitor doors while the power is out? Do you need help moving furniture? From all facets, people were there to help, and we do certainly appreciate that. And we are very excited to have people coming back earlier. And let me just say, without exaggerating, it's been a tough 6.5 months. So it's been tough for I think primarily our students and our families, and they were flexible throughout, and we appreciate that. And then our staff, any of you that have had the opportunity to speak with middle school and high school staff, just so flexible, and they were ready to roll sleeves up and work and ready to go for the benefit of our kids, and it certainly showed. Before I take questions, I just want to say that the doors are closed because we've got all our crews out there. We're not ready for a tour of the building yet. Just if any of you worked with maintenance and custodial crews, if you walk on their newly waxed floors, you're going to be in trouble. So we're not going to do that today. There'll be opportunities that Mr. Gallagher and Mrs. Belanger will open up for either walkthroughs or media to be here on different days, and we'll get there either open house or opening day or the coming weeks. But we appreciate your flexibility, and we wanted to be here together. So with that, we'll go through questions, and I'm happy to answer what I can and get you answers if I don't have answers. So
these past 6.5 months, obviously you've been working extremely hard to get this back open. How has the criticism been from the public? Was a lot of it blue, or was a lot of it positive?
I would say by and large it was positive. And again, everyone that I saw, that I ran into personally, either that visited the office, called in, or we met with, was positive. It's near 100%. Of course, there are always people that make comments either online or elsewhere, and we look for those because there's sometimes valid questions there, often valid questions there, but by and large, very positive.
Yeah. What specifically had to be completed for you to feel confident to bring students and staff back into high school on January 26th?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, of course we needed power, right? So we needed power. We needed all of our mechanicals to be working, so our boilers had to be up and running. Additionally to that, there is the control systems for all of our heating systems had to be reworked. Our fire alarm system was in the basement and was destroyed by water, and that had to be completely reworked. And then on top of that, it's what flooring was destroyed either by water or damaged elsewhere, and we had to replace that, so it was getting all of that in order. And I'm probably missing several things there, but it's mechanical, it's electrical, it's safety and security, it's our IT department ensuring that they could get all of our systems back up and running here in the building because this is kind of the hub, the heart of the district for technology. So all of those things were part of this, and none of that happens fast. I think the biggest initial thing was that we weren't going to have power for up to a year, in some cases. We got some initial power with working with National Grid. We got that restored quickly with temporary power. And then our large component electrical gear got here in half the time or less than we thought it was going to. So that was really good for us, beneficial for us.
Were you able to identify the area that kind of contributed to the flood or contributed to the backflow of water?
Absolutely. It's the entire area received in excess of 4 inches of rain in just a short period of time, and storm drains in the area, not just the school area, but in the greater community, were overrun and reached their capacity. And what we did was brought in all of our partners, all of the experts that could look at that. So from site work outside to what it looks like inside, there was not only storm drains, but the drainage creek that's outside as well. So all of those areas. It's hard to point to just one thing, but it was a lot of water all at once.
You mentioned this was a tough time for administration, families, students, parents. Is there a potential fear that students may have fallen behind in any way?
Yeah, but you know what? I would, I really focus on our teachers and our staff. They have been working hard to retrain how they teach in a shorter period of time. but additionally, making sure that those synchronous and asynchronous portions online are meaningful to kids. So there's always the concern that kids could have fallen behind, and I think that's why we wanted to, from the very beginning, listen to the community about trying to keep our kids in session, in our schools, and close to home. So yeah, it's a concern, and it's something we're going to attack going forward. Mike?
Do you have any big plans for the first day of school? Once you get the kids back in, is there going to be kind of celebration, any kind of party? How are you going to welcome them back?
Well, I'm certainly not going to tip off the media with that right now. So we are planning some things to have some fun and some energy in the building. We're going to work on that going forward. I think that high school admin here have a big evening planned, 2 Thursdays out, for when we welcome folks back in the building. But also, for that opening day, I think it'll be an energetic and positive time. Yeah. Yes.
Is there any plan for different infrastructure if you guys potentially do that?
Yeah, we take those things as they come, but the work that we've done over the last several months should be preventative, and it should not happen again to this extent. Right? We've reworked the entire storm drain system outside the building. We reinforced areas where we thought water could get into the building. We moved electrical infrastructure from the basement that could get wet onto the first floor. So we've really taken a lot of measures to ensure that won't happen.
You mentioned like the asynchronous classes, and a lot of students here were students when COVID was happening. Was it similar to COVID at all, and how have the students adapted to this?
Yeah, I think that I came here as superintendent just after COVID when we were returning. But one thing we heard from the very beginning from not only our staff and kids and parents was they didn't want to just simply go remote. They didn't want to go remote because they remembered that period of time that they were out there. And I think that's why we also pushed really hard to have the bulk of our day in person, all of our kids in front of our teachers every single day. We considered lots of different options, and that was the best one. So, if you talk to 15-year-olds, like we often do, they'll tell you, I didn't mind having, only 4.5 hours of school and doing this. If you talk to middle school kids, they didn't necessarily mind not being up at 6 or 7, right? So there's some positive things. And when you're in buildings, as I was over this period, you had kids saying, like, the rapid progression of these classes, like, it's keeping us moving, like, all of a sudden it's the end of the day, right? And they couldn't, they couldn't miss a class. They couldn't not be in school because they felt like they were missing a lot. And we'll have data at another point, but anecdotal data now shows that we didn't take a hit on attendance during this either.
When did you feel like you turned the corner to get back to make the announcement today? We've been looking at natural transition points over the last couple of months on what could potentially happen, but there were a lot of points that had to happen. Like, we had to have our final work with National Grid and electrical gear in place before we could do anything, right? So I think over the last couple of months, we were looking at a natural time. And one of the things to consider is that the end of the semester is coming up. We've got a student management system that is for all of our students, 650 students across the district, that will have to be rewritten, the schedules, not just for middle and high school, but will also impact elementary. So we needed to look for that natural time, and the semester break was that. First semester classes are ending, second semester classes are going to begin, and that seemed like the best opportunity to do that.
Do they still do, I'm showing my age, I've been out of school for almost 10 years, but winter regions, and if so, are those going to be affected by the reopening?
No, it's a great question, and that's the final week of the semester. So that's the week of the 20th, essentially. So we'll have information coming out to the community and parents on that coming up, but we do engage in regents during that time. Yep.
And are they going to be held at the middle school, or?
They'll be held at the middle school. Yep.
How was the repair work paid for, and what impact, if any, does taxpayers have in this budget?
Yep. So we had insurance for the district, which we initially had a claim of up to $1 million. We spent that quickly, mostly on cleanup and recovery. And then our Board of Education approved what's called a RAN, R-A-N, Revenue Anticipation Note, and that was access to up to $5 million for coverage to do anything and everything for this emergency.
We couldn't touch other areas or improve other areas if they weren't affected by this emergency. The difference there is that we get aided on that project or on that borrowing of that money within the next year, rather than when we do a capital project for like the auditorium area that you're sitting in, we'll get aid on that over the course of 15 years. This is immediate because it's recognized that it's going to be a hit on the district and the state works with you. So there will not be an impact from this on the community and on taxes.
Give a total estimated cost.
Something less than that number I just told you. We don't anticipate exceeding that number, which was at the start. We worked with our legal team and all of our contractors and partners to kind of put together what we thought we would need in our Board of Education. And the biggest thing there was to try and stay below that number, otherwise going back to the board and asking for more. And it's a little bit early to tell, but it will be below that number as of right now. All right, well, they were easy on us, everybody. So, but you know, just in closing, I want to say I appreciate you guys coming on short notice. We took a lot of kind of planning into how we would make this announcement today. You know, we needed to tell staff, we needed to tell our community, we wanted to include the media, and so we certainly appreciate you being here on short notice. And please look for announcements in the coming week or two on updates and on opportunities for either the media to be here with us. All of you corresponded at some point with Ella Costa, our PR specialist. If there's anything you need from the district or interview requests or anything of that nature, go through Ella, and we'll get people scheduled as best we can. So, thanks. All right. Yeah, this will be a call. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, John, I got the last thing of that leak of photo from this morning for you. I said over the record.
Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations again.
You can come on that opening. I'll let you know that.
All right. That was perfect for you. It's like, I don't want to reveal it. I don't want to reveal it. I just want to say, anticipate.